Picture Call of Duty, DayZ, and the Hunger Games shoved into the same backpack. Only the stuff you can carry makes it home. Welcome to extraction shooters, the genre where winning just means leaving the map alive, preferably with someone else's loot. In 2007, Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, a mixed survival horror, gritty looting, and open-ended FPS gameplay. 5 years later, the DayZ mod in 2012 turned that tension into a multiplayer trust experiment. Is that guy waving, or is he lining up a headshot? Both titles supplied three key ingredients: scavenging, scarcity, and constant fear. But neither gave players a clean win condition. As with so many new genres in gaming, what we're really seeing is a remix. Battle Royales, for example, are just modern takes on King of the Hill modes from classic shooters. The massive growth in the gaming industry over the last 20 years means there's naturally a lot of iterating on what came before. What extraction shooters did was take those old mechanics and evolve them into something far more personal and punishing. Escape from Tarkov, which entered closed beta in 2017, didn't invent this formula, it just perfected it. Tarkov is what happens when you combine DayZ's survival sandbox, Stalker's oppressive atmosphere, and the high-stakes structure of the Battle Royale. But instead of one winner, everyone can make it out alive, if they survive. Tarkov made every decision matter. Gear isn't cosmetic, it's everything. You bring it in, and if you die, it's gone. You want to survive? Know the maps. Listen carefully. Choose your fights. Or just rat it out in a bush until the timer hits 0. Valstate Games, the developers behind Tarkov, came from previous projects like Contract Wars and Savarium. They had a clear vision: immersion over balance. As Nikita Buyanov, the studio heads, famously said, suffering is part of the Tarkov experience. During Tarkov's first Twitch Drops event in late 2019 and early 2020, its viewership skyrocketed from around 50k to over 280k concurrent viewers, briefly making it the most watched game on Twitch. It was the perfect storm, a hardcore shooter designed to hurt you during a time when everyone was stuck at home and craving challenge. By the end of 2019, the FPS scene was dominated by fast, flashy battle royales. Fortnite had over 250 million accounts, Apex Legends hit 50 million players in its first month, Call of Duty launched Warzone in early 2020, and the genre became mainstream overnight. But while battle royales offered instant gratification and short-term chaos, players were starting to crave something deeper, something with tension, stakes, and persistence. Then came the COVID-19 lockdowns, and in 2020, global gaming revenue jumped by 12%. Steam shattered its record with 24.7 million concurrent users. People weren't just playing more, they were watching more too. Hardcore, unpredictable games like Tarkov became streaming gold. Tarkov's success didn't go unnoticed. Soon, other developers started adapting the formula. Some succeeded, and others not so much. The Cycle Frontier 2022 was a PvEVP extraction on an alien world, with cool art style but overrun with cheaters, and was eventually shut down in September 2023. Call of Duty Warzone DMZ 2022 was basically Diet Tarkov. With mass market appeal, you extract gear, build contraband stashes, and the stakes are softer. Marauders in 2022, a diesel punk, spacefaring extraction shooter with old school gunplay. And Dark and Darker 2023 to 2024, fantasy dungeons, magic spells, medieval brutality, and basically just Tarkov with swords. Each of these borrowed Tarkov's core loop: drop in, loot up, extract, and survive. But they tweaked the formula, experimenting with pacing, setting, and accessibility. The floodgates had officially opened. So what makes extraction shooters more than just a trend? Why do they stick with people in a way that battle royales often don't? The high risk, high reward. Loss hurts, and that's the point. Victory isn't just a number, it's personal. Emergent storytelling. No two raids play alike. Whether it's a clutch solo extract or a teammate betraying you at the exit, these games generate unforgettable moments. Or persistent progression. Gear, skills, stashes. This genre gives players long-term goals to look towards. You're not starting from zero every match. And also, the fact that there's streamer gold. Extraction shooters thrive on unpredictability. Viewers love it when anything can happen. And then there's the psychology behind it. This is where loss aversion comes into play. Studies in behavioral economics show that people fear losing something far more than they enjoy gaining something of equal value. In Tarkov, that fear is the whole game. When you drop into raid with your favorite kit, your best armor, and a backpack full of meds, you're not just risking pixels, you're gambling with your progress. And that anxiety, that dopamine fuel, and the high when you survive, nothing else hits like it. Tarkov isn't just a game, it's a culture. You've got rats who hide and extract with precision, chads who charge into fights with full kits and zero fear. There are entire subreddits dedicated to war stories, some tragic and some hilarious. All are uniquely Tarkov. And if you zoom out and start to see extraction shooters as a kind of modern MMO, they have progression, player economies, and social dynamics. The stakes make players emotionally invested in ways most shooters don't. In 2025, extraction mechanics are everywhere. Grey Zone Warfare is aiming for squad-based realism. Arena Breakout brings it to mobile and PC. Even indie devs are cooking up fantasy and sci-fi spins. But the game has its challenges. In 2024 alone, over 11,500 industry jobs were cut. Live service fatigue is real, and Tarkov, for all of its influence, is still in beta after 7 years, and has had its fair share of drama. The next evolution will depend on who can balance hardcore mechanics with accessibility, meaningful updates, and a solid anti-cheat. The genre has proven that it can hook players. The question now is, can it keep them? Extraction shooters prove one thing. If you want to make players care, give them something to lose. Whether it's a slick, a Bitcoin, or just your dignity, the stakes are what make it memorable. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Drop your wildest raid story in the comments. And remember, if you love a gun, insure it, because there's always a rat in a bush. And he probably bought a Mosin.